The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Amen. Amen. I strongly believe that the responsorial psalm, the psalm that we sang today, summarizes everything I want to share with you today. Lord, on the day I called, you answered me. So maybe I'll need to invite my sister and the organist to help us to sing it. So and as we sing, I just want you to pay attention to the words and allow those words to sing within you. Lord, on the day, the responsorial psalm. One more.
Lord, on the day I call for help, you answered me.
Who has ever called God and never received a response? Who can boldly say that I called on God and he never responded to me? On the day we called on him, he answered. Abraham called on God, and God answered. There is a common saying that you may be not infected by a disease, but you may be affected by the sufferings of those who are infected by the disease. Abraham was sitting perhaps in his comfortable zone, and he saw a danger coming to the house of his nephew, Lot, and his household. As a concerned man, he took the problem, personalized it, and brought the problem to the feet of God and plead the cause of the household of Lot. He saw the problem. That wasn't his problem. But he knew the moment the house of Lot is touched by the wrath of God, indirectly, he will feel it. Because it belongs to them and it belongs to us. Has a common denominator. That is you and I. So Abraham became a forefront intercessor for the house of Lot and interceded for them. Perhaps if we look at what is happening around the world, we can remind ourselves that we need Abraham in our communities. And that Abraham is you. And that Abraham is me. That we can take the problems of others and bring them to the feet of Christ and intercede for them. Such that we see the problems of others and we don't just say, that is this, let them face it. But as intercessors, we'll be able to bring these problems in prayer before God and get the results. Maybe I need an intercessor. Father Adi needs intercessor. Father Hilary needs intercessor. St. Columba Parish needs intercessor. The bishop needs intercessor. The Diocese of Auckland needs who? Intercessor. The diocese needs what? Intercessor. Auckland needs. San Francisco needs. All the cities around us needs. California needs. United States of America needs. The presidency needs. We need men, Abraham, to intercede for all these agencies. For if we tell ourselves that is their problem, they will be infected with the disease, but we will suffer as we will be affected by the sufferings of the masses. So there is nothing like their problem. It is our problem. And who is an intercessor? Intercessor is someone who takes the problem of somebody, a burden of someone, and present it to God as a prayer point, as a form of the one being an attorney before God to plead for the cause of the person. And Abraham did it so well. He said, Lord, I know you are my father. I know the situation, that building, the structure you want to destroy has nothing to do with me. However, if you find 50 strong pillars in that edifice, will you destroy it? And the father said, no. I said, okay, what about if we beat the 50 down by 5, 45? Will you? The father said, no way. I said, oh, Abba, okay, then what about 35? He said, oh, no, 35, I will not destroy that structure. What about 30? Just see the bargaining power of Abraham. He has the language. He has the concern. He has the inspiration. He sees the spiritual reality before the household of Lot. And in his activeness, he was pleading before the Father. And the Father kept agreeing to the request of Abraham. Because as an intercessor, he knew that God governs the universe, but prayer governs God. So in his intercessory role, he was praying to the Father and asking the Father that even if you can find only 10 pillars, righteous ones, the Father said no. And I still strongly believe that even if Abraham has bargained up to 5, 4, 3, and 1, the Father will have what? Still agreed. Because Abraham touched the soft spot of God. And that was God's mercy and God's compassion. And the moment you touches the mercy and the compassion of God, he releases what you need. For his mercy and his compassion endures forever. His ocean of mercy and ocean of compassion never ran dry. And Abraham knew this. As an intercessor, he reached out. That reminds me an experience of a young woman with a newborn baby in a public bus traveling from a village to the city. At a point in time, the baby was hungry, so the baby started crying. The mother reached out to her bag and brought a feeding bottle with food to feed the baby. But the more the mother insisted on feeding the baby using the feeding bottle, the more the baby cried louder and rejected. An elderly woman who was sitting in the bus shouted, "Young woman, will you be pleased give the baby breast milk? The baby wants to suck breast. Give the breast to her, to the baby." The young woman obliged. Within a short time, the baby finished the breastfeeding. The baby slept. There was a peace in the bus. The passengers had their peace. The old woman also had what? Her peace. And the driver had a peace to concentrate on what? The journey. Maybe in that scenario, that elderly woman was the Abraham. For the baby, the mother was God. It took the voice, the pleading, the intercession of that woman to help baby get her wishes met. It is in the same way that you and I are called to challenge the status quo, to bring change. That when we see the wrong thing happening to the wrong person, the right person, we need to speak up. We need to intercede. We need just not to pray, but we back the prayer with action. Because an intercession, to be an intercessor, must come from your will. So intercession is an act of the will. It must cost you something. It must cost you your time. It might cost you a moment to discern. It might cost you something that will bring change in the life of people who perhaps do not relate to you directly. Because you know for sure that when they are okay, you will also be what? Okay. But what do we see? Because it doesn't bother us, because it benefits us, because it does not concern us, we keep our mouth shut. We have refused to be intercessors for our time. So if there is anything the world you and me needs, it is prayer. The prayer of those who wake up to intercede, not just for their immediate families, but for others, even people you have never met, taking their problem, bringing them up before God. And that is why when the disciple asked Jesus, teach us to pray, and after teaching them how to pray, Jesus did not just end there. He also encouraged them to pray without ceasing. Be intercessors. Because prayer is what connects us to the divine. So pray without ceasing. Connect with the source. Connect to the ocean and the compassion of God's mercy. So that when you ask, He will answer. A rabbit went to the store and asked the owner of the store, do you have carrot? And the owner said, no, I don't have carrot. The rabbit left. The following day, the rabbit came back and asked, please, do you have carrot? The owner said, I don't sell carrot. The third day, the rabbit came again. Please, do you have carrot? By this time, the owner of the store had run out of patience and said, rabbit, the next time you come to this store and ask me whether I have carrot or not, I will use sledgehammer and hit your head. The fourth day, the rabbit came back and said, please, do you have sledgehammer? The owner said no. So then, do you have carrot? On the day I called, Lord answered. Maybe we need to be like the rabbit, to be persistently persistent in our persistence to get what we need when we are interceding for what? Others. For prayer means push. Pray until something happens. So it must take something from us to devise new ways and means to appeal to God's ocean, just as Moses did. Okay, I get it. What about this? Now I get it. What about this? If we come to this, can we, that way, we use the right language with the right disposition, with the right intention, with the right forgiveness spirit, with the zeal that it takes, and the pastoral enthusiasm that will inspire us to pray and intercede for people who are suffering, then the world will change. You and I are called to pray without ceasing. And whether we like it or not, Jesus has already taught us how to pray. The invitation for you and me is to what? Keep praying. So exercise that obligation, not only with discretion, but with missionary enthusiasm. See the needs of